Yo, Vacant.
Yo, dude, what's up?
What's up, man? Looks like another Bleach chapter is out. This is Bleach 681, the End 2 World, right?
That's the one. If you're confused about the title, we are too, because it's spelled two, the number two, rather than how it would make grammatical sense. But sure, why not? Since when has a Bleach chapter name ever made any sense? So it's a bit of a interesting one, a very, very interesting one that left a lot of people scratching their heads. Do you want to describe the chapter? Do you want to say what went through? Or would you like me to, Lego?
Yeah, just go ahead, man. I know what I want to talk about.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we picked up where we left off with Yuha Bark going through his little portal rifty thing. Renji attacked him, because that's what Renji likes to do. And for the 500 millionth time, Renji's Zanpakuto got destroyed.
I swear, I need to see that panel. Like, it's happened so many times.
We need a Zabimaru kill count. Not how many people Renji's killed, just how many times his Zanpakuto has been shredded to pieces. That thing is not durable at all. But yeah, so we pick up, Yuha Bark disappears, and then we skip immediately to Uryu and Hashwald. Turns out you were right. As I said last week, I didn't think that Hashwald had been targeted by Yuha Bark for his power, but he certainly has. His power's been stripped away from him. He's mocking Uryu at first, saying that he's proud to have assisted His Majesty and that Uryu wasn't worthy. And then, oddly, strangely enough, he decides to ask Uryu to come there so he can transfer his wounds onto Hashwald, because he's dying already, to fully heal Uryu, so he can go and save his friends. So a bit of a character turn. So even though he said that he still wished to serve and it was an honour to serve Yuha Bark, he healed Uryu to tell him to go rescue his friends. And then there's a nice little bit at the end where he just says something about making your own decisions has its own merit and worth.
Oh man, I like that one. What was the actual quote?
The end quote was that he said, even if it doesn't alter or change the end result even in the slightest, making decisions based on convictions that you believe in and walking your own path has its own merit and worth. And then it was finally, just as he was dying, we assume there's something to be said for not having even one regret. So that was a very nice and poetic way.
That was,
yeah. So, and then we just see that Orihime is explaining to Rukia and Renji just how the almighty power works, and that not only can he see all possible futures, but he can alter all possible futures as well. In this one,
guy.
Yeah, not only did he break Tensa Zangetsu, but he's also made it so that Orihime cannot reject what's happened to it and heal it and reverse the damage. Renji's being Renji, he's stubborn, he's trying to force a reaction out of Ichigo, who's not really having any of it. He's, as Rukia says, needs to come up to a plan. And to be honest, I agree with Renji where he says that it doesn't matter if he can see everything. Exactly. There isn't nothing that you can do. Suddenly, off-camera running, off-frame running, stab from behind is Ichigo. Turns out it's Tsukishima, because we almost forgot that the Fullbringers were actually there still. No idea how we got up to them, but finally they've caught up. Ginjo appears, and they just say that they're there to repay a debt to Ichigo. Now, we end the chapter by him saying... Now, this is where it gets confusing, because we are going to discuss this in a second, but basically, in a nutshell, Tsukishima's power is to insert himself into the past and to manipulate someone's past. So, he can alter the history and events that led up to it, not just people, but inanimate objects. He cuts Ichigo to say that the time that Yuha Bark broke his sword and stopped his sword from being healed never happened. So Orihime's power now works, which means he's got this huge ass sword, and Ichigo is ready to fight just because he's got a sword back now.
It's finally on more than 2 panels, so that's nice.
That's very true. It's a ridiculously large sword. So, thoughts, Lego, on what happened?
Oh man, the meat of the chapter is at the end, obviously, but deep. I just really like that dialogue at the beginning. I really like how Kubo, like, there's a lot of times where we have pitchforks for Kubo for doing, like, he doesn't explain a lot of things, and we're like, damn it, man, just explain something so that it works out. But I think this chapter is just, he has something going, and I like how when you read into things, you can find explanations for what's happening. So I really liked the dialogue with Hashwald. I did not want him to die, actually, even though I saw him get hit by it. I wanted him to be somehow more important than just being thrown away like a piece of meat. Damn that Juabak bastard. But yeah, it was a really good moment, and the actual Tsukihima part, I want to hear your thoughts on it. The power thing, does this actually work?
Okay. Well, this is the main issue. Like I say, before we get into that, I'll just say very quickly. Yeah, I liked Renji's being Renji. I liked that there's that nice touch where he just didn't give a shit. He just goes for it because he's a bit boneheaded and stubborn. It was a nice touch to a nice send off for Hashwald that he finally decided to make a decision of his own. And go his own path with his own convictions. So even though he said he was honoured to serve Yuha Bark, sounds like he had a bit of character development and a bit of a change of hearts, and he did want to see Uryu succeed, otherwise he obviously wouldn't have helped him and Ichigo and the others. So who knows, maybe they might do the thing that they tend to do a lot in Bleach, where somebody seemingly dies and then they just get healed and they're fine and come back again. The other question that leaves is that Yuha Barks, when he sleeps, he swaps powers with Hashwald, and Hashwald is the ruler. So if he's got rid of Hashwald, what is he going to do now when he sleeps? Because he needs, as far as I'm aware, he needs to be taking souls.
To sleep. Yep.
He needs to keep taking souls to live. He needs to be absorbing souls to live. So I'm not sure, unless maybe the power of the god, like when he absorbed Soul King, he doesn't need that anymore. Who knows? Well, I guess technically if he's absorbed the Soul King, he's part god himself now, so maybe sleeps for the mortal, who knows. But moving on to the powers. Okay, so let's try and break this down as simple as possible, because this is a very confusing and albeit very interesting kind of way that Kubo's gone.
Yep.
So the almighty power that Yuha Bark possesses is the ability to see all possible futures in his view, as it's explained, and he has the ability to alter said futures. Tsukishima's ability to book the end is when he cuts somebody, he has the ability to insert himself into their life and affect the past and affect events leading.
Even inanimate objects,
so he can cut stuff. I don't get why he cut Ichigo. Maybe he should have just cut the sword and gone, yeah, no, it didn't get broken.
Right, that's what... Yeah.
But, so basically these are like god-tier powers, and the first question is, if you put these two powers together, who wins? Because Yuha Bark can foresee Tsukishima going... Yuha Bark can foresee any attack that Tsukishima's going to be doing. However, Tsukishima can insert himself into the past in any place as long as he's cut them. Obviously, Yuha Bark...
I think this is definitely a situation of Hashwald versus Uryu. Like, both similar abilities, they do not negate each other necessarily. It's just that Tsukishima has happened to, at the moment, have made the latest move.
Yeah.
Yuha Bark can, of course, break Ichigo's sword again. He can't travel back in time, but the only way that he can negate Tsukishima's latest move is to kill Tsukishima or just beat them down.
The interesting thing is, as well, as we know with Tsukishima's ability, is that he can continue to alter their past. He can continue to alter their past, or one of their past, basically, as it is this alternative past. He can continue to alter it, and the only way to negate Tsukishima's ability is to have him cut them again, and that will release all of those abilities.
Yep.
So, in theory, Ichigo could, like as you said, Yuha Bark could continue to break the sword, but Tsukishima could continue to erase that and pretend that past didn't happen.
That would be amazing.
Such an interesting... in a way, with Tsukishima's ability, he has almost negated anything that Yuha Bark does to Ichigo, as in his powers. Like, so, where Ichigo...
He's sort of keeping them in a bank, like a savings account. Like the sword is all...
It's not... the sword is kind of... it's like the sword is more of the symbol, I guess, for his like will to fight. Again, now it's rehealed, he will have another crack at him. Because Yuha Bark was pulling shit like the Santan Keshun wasn't working, and because he was making a future where she couldn't reject anything, whereas now that hasn't happened, apparently. Quite how that affects Orihime, I don't know.
I think it's a simple thing of where if too much reishi is put in a thing, she can't heal it. Because remember when the Quincy's first arrived, they kept on using those huge reishi towers that exploded the whole place, and she was like, I can't reverse this place because there's too much.
I guess it is really interesting, but I think that what's quite intelligent to me is that if it's just because Yuha Bark, even without the almighty powers, he's still got part of the Soul King. He's still got these ridiculous powers. He's still got motherfucking Yamamoto's
He's
Bankai.
Clone whooped Oh, he has Yamamoto's Bankai. I forgot.
Whether he uses that, and he's still got all of the Quincy, like his his Volstagg, and all those kind of powers. So we should see Ichigo go down. Ichigo can use his full abilities, but so can Yuha Bark. So it's going to be definitely interesting. That's something that we're going to see. We will see the conclusion very shortly because, surprise, surprise, Bleach is going to be ending
on the next volume.
This volume, the 74th volume, and apparently we're 5 chapters in already, 6 with this one today. So there could be as little as 4 chapters left. There could be as little as 4 chapters left. There could be as many as 6 or 7. We don't know at the moment, but hopefully we do get a few more. It has really been ramping up to an exciting conclusion, so we are definitely going to continue to cover it. Is there any other parting shots for next week or predictions for next week that you've got, Lego?
Predictions. Aizen has absolutely got to do something. He's the last remaining god tier power, and I just need him to. I don't want him to be helping Ichigo too much, but I need him to protect Ichigo from Yuha Bark's time travel shenanigans. That is all, and I'm predicting that he will be instrumental. What are your predictions?
Okay, well, I think next chapter is going to be the last reprieve, the break just before the storm. So everyone meets up, they have the one last hurrah, and then they go into the void, as it were, after Yuha Bark, and that's when the final confrontation begins. But I think this next chapter is just going to be a nice and steady-paced one where they just say goodbyes and, good luck, and then they go and are sent off to war.
Oh, yes. Awesomeness.
Awesome. Okay then, guys. Well, thanks for listening. That's been another Podkai. Make sure you check out the next one next week.
Bye.